Perrysburg City Council for January 4th, 2022. Call to order, please. Roll call.
Mr. Fuller?
Present.
Mr. Coleman?
Here.
Ms. Materney? Here. Mr. McCarthy?
Here.
Mr. Smith?
Here.
Mr. Van Hoosen?
Here.
Mr. Weber?
Here. Please stand if you're able and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we get started, I want to thank and welcome all the new council members, and I look forward to working with you for the next 4 years, as well as all the returning council members. Minutes from the council meeting of...
So before we
do that. Yeah, organizational means my fault.
And I'd like to start with a motion to elect Jonathan Smith as our president of council.
I second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Fuller?
Yes.
Mr. Coleman?
Yes.
Ms. Materney?
Yes.
Mr. McCarthy?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Van Hoosen?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Thank you, everybody. I did distribute a list of the committee proposals to everyone. Everyone should have those in front of them. I included what the current meeting date and time is. I know that there may be a change for one of them. But what I would like to do is go through this as a proposal. If we want, we can read this out loud, or we can just submit this for the record. I don't know if there's any objections to submit this for the record.
Fine. That's fine.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve the council committee proposal that is in front of everybody at the moment.
Second?
Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Fuller?
Yes.
Mr. Coleman?
Yes.
Ms. Materney?
Yes.
Mr. McCarthy?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Van Hoosen?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
All right, and with that, is there any of these dates or times that need to be changed for the record?
Yes, Jonathan, the Planning Zoning Committee, we're gonna meet, with the exception of this month, from February on, we'll meet the first Wednesday of the month at 5:30. And for this month, so as not to throw us off schedule, we'll meet on January 12th at 5:30.
Is there any changes or any other discussion regarding the times? Hearing none. I appreciate everyone's vote of confidence and giving me 2 more years here as the president of council. So thank you very much, and I will do everything I can to continue doing what I've done this last 2 years. So thank you.
Congratulations, Jonathan. Minutes of council from December 21st.
I believe everyone has received a copy of the meeting minutes. Hearing no concerns, I'm going to make a motion to approve the meeting minutes for Perrysburg City Council on December 21st, 2021, as written, and dispense with the reading.
Second?
Roll call.
Mr. Fuller?
Yes.
Mr. Coleman?
Staying.
Ms. Materney?
Yes.
Mr. McCarthy?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Van Hoosen?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Not aware of any letters, communications, or citizen concerns. Hearing
Jim,
none.
we gotta thank Jim.
Oh, Jim, are you going to
Come on up, Jim. You do this every year.
Jim Hagan, 10741 Avenue Road. Council members, previous council members, see your candy tins in front of you. This is a little thank you that you usually do every year. I'm a little late this year. Unforeseen circumstances that I lost a few days having to attend the funeral in Nebraska. Anyway, candy tins, my thank you to you. If you would like them again next year, just make sure I get the tins back to me before November of next year, and we'll get them refilled and we'll give them back to you. So again, thank you.
Thank you.
Jim, these are all handmade. Jim even comes and gets the walnuts out of my yard.
Administrator reports. I have no report. City administrator.
Just wanted to report and let council know that now that the year has closed, finance director and myself are already working diligently on the amended budget and hope to have something to the mayor and the short order to then bring back before council and go through the process.
Finance Director?
I have no report.
Thank you very much. Law Director has no report. President of Council?
Thank you, Mayor. I do have a couple things here. First, I'll just remind everyone who is up here that was not running, I believe we all have to do our ethics commissions by May. I received an email, so just a reminder that we have to get those filed in. The other thing that we have as well is we have to appoint 2 members to the Volunteer Fire Dependent Fund. I know we have one opening. Who's the other person that currently serves in that?
All the terms expired in December of this year, so you have to elect 2 people. I believe it was Ms. Warner, and I thought perhaps it might have been yourself.
I don't think it was me.
I can't remember, unless it was the safety director or the safety chair. So you are free to elect any 2 you would like.
Okay. Do we have any volunteers or anybody who would like to serve on the Volunteer Firefighter Dependent Fund?
Is that what I did last year when I wasn't here?
Yeah, that's right.
That was me. I'll do it again.
Okay.
What is it?
You sign a paper once a year, I believe.
Yeah, I don't think that they've ever really meet.
And it will actually meet this year. We've done a little research about the fund, myself and the law director. So this entity, since we do have a volunteer contingent in our fire department, we have to form this board that's made up of 2 elected officials, 2 firefighters that are elected amongst themselves, and then the 4 collectively elected 5th person. They have to meet at least once a year. And there is some paperwork that needs to be filed with the assistance of the finance director to the state of Ohio. But in the event one of our volunteer firefighters, of which I think we only have 4 or 5 today, were to be injured or in the line of duty, killed in action while performing their functions, this board actually comes together, looks at the code, and makes recommendations for a claim from a survivor, from a spouse, from dependent children, and forward that on to the state fire budget.
I think that sounds. Councilman Van Hoosen, would you want to do that board? I think it makes a lot of sense with personnel and safety chairs to have that up.
I would be pleased to, yes.
So I will make a motion that Corey Pullman and Barry Van Hoosen fill that role.
Second.
Discussion, roll call?
Mr. Fuller?
Yes.
Mr. Coleman?
Yes.
Ms. Matroni?
Yes.
Mr. McCarthy?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Van Hoosen?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
And I do have one ordinance as well. So I would like to introduce Ordinance 1, 2022, and move the rules be suspended to allow for its reading by number and title only, and dispense with the second and third readings.
Roll call?
Mr. Fuller?
Yes.
Mr. Coleman?
Yes.
Ms. Matroni?
Yes.
Mr. McCarthy?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Van Hoosen?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Ordinance 1, 2022, an ordinance repealing Charter Chapter 220.05, Rule 5A8, the Appointment Review Committee, and removing any reference to the Appointment Review Committee from the Perrysburg Codified Ordinances.
All right, I move that Ordinance 1, 2022 be passed. And I'm going to say an emergency measure, so that way it's effective immediately, so we don't have to meet for anything this month.
Second?
Discussion, roll call?
Mr. Coleman?
Yes.
Ms. Matroni?
Yes.
Mr. McCarthy?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Van Hoosen?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mr. Fuller?
Yes.
Thank you again for the nomination, and that is the end of my report.
I'm not expecting any answers to these, really, but Finance and Economic Development Committee?
No report. Our next meeting is a week from tonight, January 11th at 5:30 p.m., where we will welcome our newest member to the Finance Committee, President Jonathan Smith.
Safety Committee?
Thank you, Your Honor. I do not have a report. Our next meeting will be January the 25th, Tuesday at 6 p.m.
Thank you. Recreation?
Thank you, Mayor. It's a new role here, and I do not have a report, and our next scheduled meeting is going to be on January 11th at 6:30 p.m.
Planning and Zoning?
No report, and as indicated, we will meet on January 12th at 5:30.
Personnel?
No reports. We will be meeting, it looks like January 25th at 5 p.m.
Public Utilities?
I have no report, and we'll be meeting on the 26th at 6:30 p.m.
Thank you. Service Committee?
No report. We'll be meeting January 26th. I always appreciate Jonathan, or in this case Kevin, going first, so I don't have to try to guess the date. At 5:30.
Thank you very much. Other business?
Yeah, so I was out last meeting. I got exposed to COVID and tested positive. But I wasn't here for Miss Bourne's last meeting. I wanted to wish her well in her endeavors. I have no doubts that she will remain involved in Perrysburg and what we're doing moving forward. She is a person that I may have disagreed with at times, but there's no doubt that she, in her heart, has Perrysburg's best interest in mind whenever she's voting or doing anything. I think that's important to reflect on. However, and I hate to say this because that's what I planned on telling Deborah when I was here last meeting, I was kind of discouraged by her comments that I believe brought into question the election results. At least that's what it appeared to me. What's going on nationally, to see that seep into a local political race is disheartening for me. I think most of us are up here trying to keep politics, for the most part, out of what we do on a day-to-day basis and on our votes. And she's usually part of that. So that was kind of disheartening. I think it's really important to remember that behind these elections are local people that are involved. That being Terry Burton and Julie Baumgartner are both working their butts off on election nights to get people results and the information and verify results. And we have someone sitting up here that was in a very close election, won by 8 votes. And I didn't see Dr. John Meyer making any comments questioning those results. And it's just sad to see that kind of level stoop to. It's important to remember these are people and they're very good at their jobs. Both major parties have people in there. I believe it's John Jakubowski and Andy Newlove to help verify and make sure that the major parties don't have any issues with those results. And I would let it go, but that one troubled me. I wanted to say something because these people work too hard for someone to throw unsubstantiated claims out there without backing it up. So that's about it.
Thank you very much. Any other business come before council?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Hearing no objection, we are adjourned. Thank you very much. Nice start.
I like this part.